Like, I was in America and I wanted to go to some fine dining restaurant, so I turned up at Pizza Hut. And a guy was coming outside and he held the door open for me. He said, "After you, big dog." I'm 5'7". I've never been called big dog in my life. I'm like, "Me?" He's like, "Yeah, come on through, big dog." I'm like, "Stop it. No. It's not me. I'm a little dog. Stop it. Get out of here. I'm not even a big... I don't even have a tail. Stop it."
Of course, you can't do this as a job and not expect any negative feedback, and I do try and take it on board. I want to hear what these men have got to say. You know, how would I know I was bad at my job if Dave, 69, from Swindon, didn't tell me, you know? I want to hear what this man's got to say. He seems to know all the words to Sweet Caroline, you know? The man's a feminist. He's got 100 public likes of big tits. There's a picture of him with his granddaughter to let me know he's not a danger. You know, I want to hear what he's got to say. I did actually used to think before I did this job that the loudest noise ever recorded was Krakatoa erupting, but it's actually the sound of an unqualified man in a room full of expert women.
It's over a year now, Russia, Ukraine, and like, I just want countries to go and help to Ukraine, man. I really do, you know, like, apart from Germany, obviously, I prefer if they stay neutral. Do you know what I mean? Like, just between us here, I'd just be afraid if they got the uniforms back on, you know, like... I'm just afraid they'd be like, "This feels quite nice, actually, yeah." I just feel better than everyone for some reason, you know? I just feel like we should own everything. Is that wrong on me, Hans? I don't know. Hans, take a picture. You've got a great eye, Hans. You've got a great eye. Take a picture. Ah, woo. Woo, I'm so naughty. Ah. Hashtag they're back, you know.
There's things that have come up for me that I wasn't expecting in parenting. Things that I find hard, things that I find harder. I'm severely dyslexic, and I think my dyslexia has got worse. My partner Alice hasn't been the biggest support. No. My wife has started spelling to me what we're doing with our afternoon. Even though she knows how bad my dyslexia is. She'll be like, "Oh, after her NAP, we'll go to the PARK." I'm like, I ain't got a fucking clue, let's go, Vorderman. Before Christmas, Alice told me a few things to go and get her. A few days before Christmas, a few things to get her to put in her stocking. As I was leaving, she spelt Elsa doll. She did not get an Elsa doll, she got an easel. Now, I am well aware that sounds like a gag that I've written. I know there'll be people here going, "You're a super, you swap the letters around to prove you're dyslexic." I want you all to know that is a genuine row between me and my wife that happened on the 23rd of December, and I've decided that by talking about it on stage, I have made the easel tax deductible. Pretty clever.
Where do you think George Michael went?
In the ground, I believe.
Just in the ground? Yeah, nice one. Personally, Wendy, I believe that George Michael was abducted by aliens. They were very active in 2016, the year that George Michael died. Those musician abducting aliens. Fuck, they got some rippers that year. George Michael, David Bowie, Prince, Sharon Jones, Merle Haggard, fucking Leonard Cohen. It must have been some sort of alien university O-Week challenge. Scull a pint of hydrogen and bring back a popular musician from planet Earth.
I've been walking a lot. I'm trying to get healthy, and I've been doing my walks. It's supposed to be good for your mental health, but not the way I do it. I have imaginary arguments with people where I come out on top. I'm angry at everyone who's like walking past me. If they're walking slow, I think, come on. If they're walking fast, I think, where are you going, you psycho? Calm down. But I want to ask you guys, because I've been having a problem on my walks. I just feel like I'm always the person that ducks out of the way. Do you feel, okay, can you all give me a woo if you feel that you're always ducking? Yes. Give me a woo if you're not. My God, do you also stand too close to the baggage carousel at the airport? I don't get it. I feel like it's just a constant thing. I'm always ducking. I'm always ending up in the gutter for like other people's dreams and life configurations. And I'm happy to sometimes, you know. Sometimes I'll be walking and then there's a little old couple hobbling along together till death. And I think, okay, yeah, in the gutter. Or there'll be a couple with a new baby and I think, okay, in the gutter. Yeah. Mixed race couple. I'm like, okay, you're the future, in the gutter, all right. But the other day I'm walking along and there was a couple with, you know, PE Nation couple. It's a PE Nation, both had PE Nation tights on. Pitbull, just walking. And none of them moved, not even the pitbull. I was like, what the hell? I'm not getting out of the way for a pitbull. Where's he off to anyway, to maul a toddler? Like, what? Beep, beep, move aside. And I'm not anti-pitbull, by the way, I want to say, you know. I mean, they love to eat kids. They're obsessed with it. They're like... But I was thinking about it the other day because I was thinking, why do pit bulls always go for kids, you know? What's the deal there? And I was sort of thinking about it. And, you know, when people talk about how if they could go back in time to kill Hitler or Pol Pot or, you know, some sort of evil figure from the past, they always say, well, you'd have to do it when they're a kid to sort of avoid all of the bad stuff.
I like goo puddings, but the last ones I bought, they pissed me off. I wasn't happy with them because they put an exclamation mark at the end of the cooking instructions. You happy with that? A level of attitude from a pudding? It said, put in the microwave for 30 seconds, comma, no longer! Oh, fucking shout at me, you're a pudding! You're a pudding, you're in my house, I'm the alpha here! Fucking 30 seconds, no longer. I put them in the microwave, 45 seconds, fuck you. Took them out and they were burnt within an inch of their lives. You've got to listen to stuff when it's written down.
So in the 60s, we had a Prime Minister who drowned. He was Prime Minister at the time. His name was Harold Holt. He drowned swimming off the coast of Australia, never to be found again. And in Melbourne, Australia, where I'm from, in his honour, we built the Harold Holt Swimming Centre.
We need to get more vulnerable, that's it. We need to get more vulnerable at this point, right? And I don't mean everyday vulnerable that we all feel like when you think there's an extra step at the top of the stairs and then your foot does that weird little stamp because it's like, can't wait for that next step. You panic looking around like, oh God, someone's seen that. That's the most embarrassing thing I've done in my life. Now I have to walk like that's my normal walk. See you later, mate. Good luck calling me Monsieur Stomp.
I think like a big reason that I've not been in a great place though is I spend all my time on my own and I'm an extrovert. You know, I live on my own. I travel all around the country on my own, and I get a lot of trains. The trains, fucking. I was getting a train after a gig from Sheffield to Manchester, and it's normally a dead easy journey, 2 stops, 50 minutes. But I'm stood on the platform waiting for my train, and the announcement comes on. For the 11:15 train. From Sheffield to Manchester Piccadilly, calling at Dore and Totley, Grindleford, Haversage, Bamford, Hope, Edale, Chinley, New Mills Central, Strand, Marple, Romilly, Bredbury, Brinnington, Reddish North, Rideabout, Bellevue, Ashbury, Stockport and Manchester Piccadilly is cancelled. I'm stood on the platform, I'm feeling suicidal, and I don't even have anything to jump in front of. Have you ever tried to end it all in front of a rail replacement bus?
Thank you for being out tonight during a cost of living crisis. I'm so grateful you're here, but let's be honest, you buying a ticket, a little fiscally irresponsible. You could have bought food. You could have bought a big bag of cheese for the same price. Or a little bag of ketamine. You had options, but you chose me. I'm very grateful. We have a cost of living crisis, and if you ask anyone over 70, they'll tell you it's because no one wants to work anymore. That's the problem. That's the problem with your generation. No one wants to work anymore. Back in my day, I'd work every day for a year, and you know what they paid me? $1. And I took that $1 and I bought a house and I bought an investment property and I put the other 87 cents in the bank. But no one wants to... Yeah, we don't want to work anymore because we don't get the same reward. That's why we choose lifestyle jobs like comedy and entertainment and OnlyFans. Just lifestyle. Now, does anyone not know OnlyFans? Okay, some guys pretending they don't know OnlyFans. All right. OnlyFans is the adult entertainment industry, but work from home. It's a good system, right? I'm very sex worker positive. I think it's a good system because these people get to choose their hours. They get to do it in the comfort of their own home with whoever they want, with whatever vegetables they have lying around. That's a good system. But 20 years ago, if you wanted to be in the porn industry, you'd have to go to Los Angeles and meet some pimp with a handlebar mustache, go to some dodgy house where there's 20 guys all oiled up and riddled with chlamydia, and you'd have to have sex with them all at once, right? But our generation, we don't do that. And you know why? Because no one wants to work anymore. That's the problem. With your generation, I used to do all the men for $1. I'm not above it, by the way, right? A few months ago, someone on Facebook hit me up and said, hey, can you send me a photo of your feet? And I'm like, that's not really my thing. They said $500. I'm like, maybe it's my thing. I'm open to it. But I don't judge my life based on material possessions, mainly because I don't really have access to them. I judge my life based on achievements and milestones. Like, I don't mean to brag, but a little while ago, I hit the big time. I married an American, which is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, according to Americans. They are so excited for me. Like, wow, you married an American. Your parents must be so proud. I'm like, they're a little concerned. They're worried about me. No, you could be an American now. Don't you want to be an American? Pew, pew, pew. I'm like, calm down. Okay, I don't have the confidence to be an American. I'm not qualified. Americans are confident people. Like, I was in America and I wanted to go to some fine dining restaurant, so I turned up at Pizza Hut. And a guy was coming outside and he held the door open for me. He said, after you, big dog. I'm 5'7". I've never been called big dog in my life. I'm like, me? He's like, yeah, come on through, big dog. I'm like, stop it. No, it's not me. I'm a little dog. Stop it. Get out of here. I'm not even a big, I don't even have a tail. Stop it. He's like, come on through. And he gave me a fist bump. And oh, that confidence was contagious. All of a sudden, I felt that American confidence. And I felt 6 foot tall. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I am a big dog. I felt so confident. I walked into that Pizza Hut. I bought a family meal. That's how excited I was. My father-in-law was so pumped for me when I married his daughter. As a wedding gift, he bought me a Costco membership. That's a dowry in the state of Kentucky. It's like, that's a Costco membership. You can go to any Costco around the world. I'm like, why would I go to Costco when I'm overseas? You can get the best bagels in Costco. You got to buy 3,000, but they're the best bagels. You can get the best red wine from Italy in Costco. It's from a region in Italy called Kirkland, Italy. Best Italian wines. You can get a coffin in Costco. When I die, I want you to put me in that coffin, leave me in Costco, because that's my idea of heaven, amen. I'm like, mate, wait till you discover Aldi. You're going to have a great time. No membership needed. I've tried to live in America. It's hard to get onto the American system, right? They're very protective of their system. I went to get a phone number, asked for a SIM card, and they said, Sir, you can't get an American phone number until you have an American bank account. I'm like, no worries. So I went to the most American bank possible. I went to Bank of America. And they said, sir, you can't get an American bank account until you have a social security number first. I'm like, no worries. Went to the social security office. They're like, sir, you can't get a social security number until you have an American phone number. I'm like, oh, I'm going to kill everyone. So I went to Walmart, bought a gun, no documents needed. Very easy. Americans also don't expect me when they hear Australian man. They think like alpha man, right? They think like Hugh Jackman and Chris Hemsworth and the dad from Bluey. Just proper alpha dogs. Now, I don't want to shock anyone, but I am not an alpha male. Don't argue. I'm not an alpha male. But I know how to find one. If you ever need an alpha male for any reason, it's very easy. All you have to do is find like an extension lead or a cable or a cord. And all you have to do is start to try to coil it. And what will happen is an alpha male will appear out of nowhere and tell you you're doing it wrong. That's not how you bloody coil it, mate. You've got to let the cable do the work. You follow that. If you really want to piss them off, you start doing it around your elbow. They'll have a conniption like, that's not how you bloody do it, mate. You're going to wreck the cable. And they turn into a car. I don't feel the need to be an alpha male, by the way. I feel like I've fulfilled my biological duty because a few months ago, my wonderful wife Lucy gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. Cannot wait to find out who the father is. I am so excited. I'm pretty sure it's me because, statistically speaking, millennials have less affairs than other generations. Isn't that cool? I don't think it's an ethical thing. I think we just delete the apps and we don't know where to meet people. That's... Honestly, if my wife has an affair, it's going to have to be on Facebook Marketplace. Like, she buys another couch, I'll get suspicious. If you have an affair on Facebook Marketplace, you don't even have to change the messages. You could just be like, still available? Someone already came. That's so easy. I also think, older generations are looking at us millennials not having affairs and they're just thinking, oh, no one wants to work anymore. That's the problem. They're not getting out there. The other reason that my wife and I don't have affairs, I think, is because we're dorks and no one really hits on us. Like a big night out for us is staying at home, playing Uno. And a really big night is we play Uno Flip. Oh, have you heard of Uno Flip? It's Uno on one side of the cards, then you flip them. Completely different game of Uno on the back. And you just spend the whole night flipping back and forth. Damn. That's the closest thing to swinging we'll ever get. That is... the speed we're at. Here's an example of my wife and I being dorks. We were on our honeymoon in Greece. We went down to the beach and Lucy put on a adorable bikini, went for a swim. I stayed on the shore to protect my sandcastles. And as she's swimming in the crystal clear Greek waters, I got worried because I'm like, no, these Greek Adonises with their beach bods are going to hit on her. I can't compete with that. They're going to steal her away from me. And as she's swimming, looking so gorgeous, she just looks at me and goes, hey, babe, I'm a seal. I'm like, our marriage is safe. We're going to be okay. That was the night she got pregnant, I think. I love SeaWorld. What can I say?
I think younger people, anyone younger than me, has got bad manners. They have. And when I say younger people younger than me, I mean my boyfriend is 5 years younger than me. And you wouldn't know he was 5 years younger, by the way, because he looks terrible for his age. Oh, he's ever so craggy. You don't know whether to fuck him or climb him. And yes, he is in the audience. He does know this is a joke. And he is around this area, which is why I can't look over there, OK? It's a blind spot. Go and sit near the back. What are you fucking doing there? Shut up. Now. But the thing is, he's the best looking bloke I've been out with. Don't look at him now. It's not about him. It's about me. All right? Do you know what? He'll walk out of here. He's a man. Everything's about him. Let this be about me. He's the best looking bloke I've been out with because I've been out with some great personalities. And honestly, I used to go out with one bloke, and I used to think, if you ever went to one of those caricature artists on holiday, you'd just come away with a lovely portrait. But there is being a bit younger, I do notice things, right? I do notice things. He's always asking me questions, what was it like when there was just 4 TV channels? What was it like when you saw Oasis live the first time round? Will you tell me some of the things that you used to ask Jeeves? And he's always on his phone. I just think people, just that little bit of age difference, always on his phone. It's so fucking annoying. A world of information in his hand, learning nothing, right? And it's a madness. We are making ourselves ill. I am guilty of it as well. I wake up in the morning, I wake up at 7 a.m. I don't know what you pigs do, right? Wake up at 7 a.m. What's the first thing you do? You pick your phone up, you're scrolling through. You're looking at people that you've not seen for years. You're looking at rubbish. You're looking at and it's so harmful. I mean, if that was real life, if that phone was real life, and someone you worked with a decade ago booted in your front door at 7 a.m, ran up the stairs, got in bed with you, and went, "Do you want to see me holiday photos?" You'd be like, "No, Paula Hitler, I don't." But I know 5 years isn't a big age gap, and I'm just being a bit silly, being a bit daft. But I think it's quite rare for a woman to be older than a man in some capacity. When a woman's older than a man, they drag them on this morning to investigate, don't they? I was trying to think about age gaps, and it's the only big age gap between a man and a woman where the woman's older is Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte. The president of France, Emmanuel Macron? Looks a bit like Ted Bundy. He does, have a look. And do you know he was 16 when he met her and she was 40? She was his teacher. Creepy. Creepy, but so French. Imagine, she'd be like, "No, Emmanuel, no. Oh, Emmanuel, I have meats and cheeses and wines older than you. No, oh, okay, vive la France." That's the only one I can really think of, there are others, of course. But men, they're all at it. Leonardo DiCaprio with those little girls that he goes out with. Ronnie Wood from the Rolling Stones. I love the Rolling Stones. Ronnie Wood is in his 70s. His wife is in her 30s. I can't even eat raisins because of the texture. Honestly, this is true. The first time I ever saw Ronnie Wood with his now wife, I was on my phone, as usual, scrolling through, and I genuinely thought that clicked on National Geographic, right? And I honestly thought that it was that, is it Mananan Festival in Indonesia, where twice every decade they bring out the dead relatives? And give him a dust. I thought, that looks interesting. Oh, it's Ronnie Wood on a gondola. Right? And listen, I don't want to be ageist. I hate ageism. I hate it. It's a scourge on society. I think ageism is one of the sort of unspoken things that we need to be more aware of, right? But then I look at these age gap relationships, and I just think, men, you've got it a bit easier in that respect. Of course you have. You're allowed to get older. You're allowed to get old. A man goes grey. Oh, he's a silver fox. He gets a bit fat. Oh, he's got a dad bod. Right? A woman has a wrinkle. Get back in the house, you horrible witch. Oh, you're making everyone uncomfortable. God, she's 35. And women, we don't help ourselves because women sometimes we're like, "Oh my God, I'm so old. I'm so old." You're 31. You're not old. You've got another 50 years of this shit left. At 31, you're not old. The only time you're old at 31 is if you're a medieval French agricultural worker. There you go. That's when you're old, right? But this is it. I think subconsciously, men, you're allowed to get older because you're fertile for the entirety of your existence, right? You can reproduce the entirety of your lives. You know, women, we get told by nature that we're no longer fertile. You know, we get we're hot flushes, the memory problems, the wild swimming. But men, you can just carry on, right? Al Pacino's in his 80s. He's one of the world's oldest known fathers. Come on, Al. Come on. Come on, a tits. Horrible. Horrible. I just think men, you know, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can have kids doesn't mean you should. You know, you should think a bit more about that, you know. I think we should have a new ritual, actually. You know, bring something new out for older men. What we should do is when a man starts showing an interest in air fryers, you know, and women that weren't born when he passed his driving test, what we should do is we should have like a little ritual in the village square, you know. So if everyone comes to dance around a maypole, you know, that kind of thing, you know. And then what we do is we just attach their dick to a tap. And we just turn off the cum. That's what we do. Literally a stopcock. I don't know, get Gary Lineker down to do it or something, you know. Make it fun for them as well. The thing is, I don't want children either. I do like children. I've got 2 nieces and a nephew who I love. They're brilliant. Well, one of them needs work, but it's not my problem. But I like children, because that's another thing. When you say, as a woman, oh, I don't want children, people mishear. They go, oh, is it your innards? No, I just don't want them. Oh, you horrible witch. You evil, cold woman. Right? I just don't want... The reason I don't want them is I don't want it to change. I don't want my life to change. Don't want it to change. Quite happy as I am. Like children, just don't want any of my own, you know? I don't want to carry a bag of snacks that isn't for me. I don't want to spend all my time worried that someone's going to be abducted. You know, I don't want Paw Patrol stickers on my nice furniture. Just putting stickers on things, aren't they? Horrible, horrible, right? Now, the thing is, I don't want to... And all of my friends now, well, most of my friends are now parents. They're having children. And I can't relate to some of the more middle-class female friends I've got because they sort of change when they have a kid. It's like they're the only person that's ever done it. You know, the only mother on earth. That's who they are. And they talk to you, you know, in a weird way. Like one of my friends, she's always like, oh my God, I love my body now. I love my body. I've made peace with my body. I love my body. It's given life. My body has given... And I'm sitting there thinking, what's my body ever done? Bent over due to a misunderstanding with an antipode and, you know... But then and it brings out the worst in me because I hate people being smug. She's like, oh my God, I love my body. I'm like, oh, do you know what? If you love your body so much, go and look at yourself from the side in the mirror. And if you come back not crying, I'll high five you. Go on. Because I don't care who you are. Right? Elon Musk might be a billionaire, but I reckon he looks at himself from the side in the mirror and feels really fucking sad.
I tell you what did it for me with gender neutral titles, that I was doing a gig recently in Berlin. And I take a shit for the gig, right? This thing, I get nervous sometimes. I'm like, I need to do this. Maybe they won't like me. You know what I mean? So I go over this shit, right? And I had about 10 pints of Guinness the night before, right? So, listen, most of you know what that does to your insides. What you shit out is like a Dementor from Harry Potter coming out of you, you know? Like when we were growing up, if my father had 10 pints of Guinness the night before, we'd be sent to our cousins the next day, you know? Because my mother was honestly afraid it would stunt her growth. If I'm honest, she knew the house would be like Chernobyl, you know? So anyway, I was taking this shit, you know, and I was just like, you know, it's just a bad one, you know, you're just sweating and you're kind of contorting into yourself, and I got up off the toilet and my legs were like the legs of a baby calf. They were shaking. I was gone blind in one eye, you know. I was muttering to myself in Hebrew for some reason, you know. And again, you just felt that deep, deep, deep shit shame, you know. I'm no good. My father was right about me. And I stumbled over to the door of the toilet. I opened up the door. Who was waiting outside? The most beautiful German woman you've ever seen in your life. And her little 4-year-old German daughter. And her daughter was just looking up at me with this little smiley German head in her. And I knew she wasn't going to be smiling for long, you know. She wasn't even going to be German for long, you know what I mean? Like, it's the kind of shit that'd turn you Dutch, you know. Like, after she goes into that toilet, she's just going to be from that toilet. Like, that's where the rest of her life begins, you know? And I tried to look at the mother and plead with her with my eyes. I tried to plead with her, like, you can't let her in there. She's innocent, you know? Like, if she goes in there, she'll just know Santa's not real, you know? Like, she'll know 9/11 was an inside job, you know? She'll know Bush was involved, you know? But you can't say anything. What can you say? You can't be like, oh... You know? You can't do it. So all I could do, I came out, I was sweating, hunched over, and all I managed to say was, sorry, and I just fucking scuttled away like a little rat, you know? And man, I know that girl. That little girl, like, she's going to be in fucking therapy, you know? Like, 20 years from now, she's going to be, like, lying down on a couch, and a therapist is going to be like, and when's it's a pain start, Matilda? I remember waiting outside the toilet with my mother. I remember feeling happy. I haven't felt that way since. So next thing I remember, a guilty, sweaty man left the toilet. And he said he was sorry. If he didn't know why, we would soon find out. So next thing I remember, I woke up on the bathroom floor and I couldn't feel my legs. And my mother, she was screaming, it burns, it burns! My mother didn't talk to me much after that. She said I reminded her of the Schlitz. She would want to kill herself a year later. Her suicide note had 2 lines. Guinness shit. It was a Guinness shit. I'm sorry, I have to take a moment in the bathroom, I'm sorry. And the therapist is like, Matilda, I wouldn't go in there, I've been eating a lot of ethnic food. Oh, that's the dumbest thing I've ever written.
You know, actually, it was my uncle that got me into comedy, inadvertently. I've got this uncle, he's an amateur magician. And by that I mean he really wants to be a magician, but he's just fucking amateur! Just fucking awful! And he always does these Christmas shows for us. He does Christmas magic shows every Christmas. And when I say that, you're probably picturing like card tricks and rabbits out of hats. None of that. He's like an amateur escapologist, daredevil, illusionist kind of magician, just doing dangerous shit with no training and not a lot going on upstairs. One of my earliest childhood memories, right, he got up on top of the pergola, right, in a straitjacket, and he's going to jump off the pergola into the swimming pool and not surface until he got out of the straitjacket. None of us told him not to do it. So he's up there on the pergola, wrapped in his straitjacket, and he does this thing before he does any trick. He goes, 3, 2, 1, ready! It's like his little catchphrase. So he's up there and he goes, 3, 2, 1, ready! He takes a step back to run up into the pool and just went, Wah! Straight through the pergola, impaled his shoulder on a star picket, tore all the ligaments in his ankle, and when he landed, he made such a loud noise it frightened the dog, and the dog bit him on the face. So Christmas was always awesome. And that year, he wouldn't let us take him to the hospital. He's like, I'll be fine. He just pulled himself off the star picket, cracked a stubby and went back to the barbecue, you know what I mean? But as a result, he fucked his shoulder so bad, he fucked all the nerves in his arm, and he's got no feeling in his left hand. He can still pick stuff up, but he can't feel things, and he always says horrible shit like, yeah, Randy, I don't even need the missus anymore. I just close my eyes and think of Mariah Carey. Yeah, the man's a fucking unit. So, this one Christmas, this is how I got in comedy, this one Christmas, someone from his local RSL club had given him a little Pee-wee 100 motorbike, like a little children's motorbike. I'm not sure why, maybe they wanted him dead. But anyway, he turned up to Christmas, right, with this little Pee-wee 100 motorbike, and he built a ramp in his ute. He built a ramp that folded out of the tray of his ute and then up over the cab of his little truck. And he had this idea that he was going to drive his little ute around to school fetes and county fairs and stuff and do jumps on his little motorbike in his ute ramp. Again, none of us told him not to do it. So he turned up with this thing and he set it up across the road, and we were having Christmas at my family's house in the country in central Victoria. There's heaps of paddocks around. We're in the middle of nowhere, so he loves having Christmas there because he can do dangerous shit in the paddocks, right? And really spread out. So he built the obstacle course, and he's across the road all morning setting this up. And we're in the house and we hear 3, 2, 1, ready! So we go across the road and there he is. Picture this, he's a massive dude, huge guy, strawberry blonde mullet, big blonde handlebar mustache with a nicotine stain in the middle, like he's been eating an ass, and he just sits there, right? He's huge on this tiny motorbike. He's like, here we go. And he took off and he was like weaving through the cones, popping little monos. He did about 25 minutes as a warm-up. We're like, actually, this is pretty entertaining. And he gets to the end of his warm-up, he parks the bike about maybe 20 metres from where he's going to start his run up to his big jump, and he added a little bit of showbiz flair here. I'll never forget it. He got off the bike and he pretended that the motorbike was too heavy for him to push. Massive dude, tiny motorbike. He just goes, oh, it's too heavy, kids, I can't push it. We're like, yay! 5 stars! You're a comedic genius. He's like, and then he just went, oh, bugger it, picked the motorbike up, put it under his arm, and marched back to the start line. Like a fucking legend. So he gets to the start line, he goes to put the motorbike down, but he can't. Because when he picked it up, he inadvertently put his left hand on the exhaust pipe. He's got no feeling in his left hand. The exhaust pipe's very hot. By the time he made it back to the start line, his left hand had fused to the exhaust pipe, melted to the motorbike. He's like, oh, I can't put it down. We're all like, the smell of burning flesh. All the adults are pouring beer on it. He's like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. We're like, but it's fucked. That year, he let us take him to the hospital. You have a motorbike attached to your hand, get in the fucking car. But because we were having Christmas at my house in the country, everybody was shit-faced because everybody was staying over. Everyone was camping, so nobody could drive him. Except for me, I'd been on my learner's permit for 1 week. 2-hour drive to the hospital. I'm just like white-knuckling it the whole way. My dad, shit-faced in the passenger seat, just supervising me. Hey, he's doing a great job. My uncle on the back seat, motorbike on his lap. His left hand fused to the exhaust pipe and then just sculling a long neck with his right hand. And that is not what got me into comedy, but that is definitely what got me into drinking. Like, that is tough as fuck. Yes! So it's Christmas night in Emergency. So there's chaos. There's people impaled on Christmas trees and kids that have eaten Christmas baubles and shit. And so it's crazy. But he walks through the doors carrying a motorbike and the entire room went silent. I've never seen anything like it. All these people just went... He marches up to the counter, slams the motorbike down in front of the triage nurse and just goes, I've done a mischief! They took him into surgery. He was in there for 6 hours. I had to sit in the waiting room and wait for him the whole time. And while I was there was an episode of Seinfeld on the television. I was like, I want to do that. And here I am. Thank you, Uncle.
Don't like to have to start the show like this, but I found that I have to, so I don't string any of you along. I am married. Okay, so get your minds out the gutter, it's not going to happen. Readjust your expectations, but readjust them again because I cheat on her all the time. With audience members. No, it's not true. It's just a cheeky little start to the show. Cheeky little start. I'm not a cheater. Not a cheater. I cheat in board games. few board game cheaters in. Yes, fair enough. Right, it's built into the rules, though, isn't it? You're expected to cheat a little bit in board games. Like the other week, me and the wife, we were playing Monopoly, right? She was destroying me. She had hotels on everything. My money was dwindling. She went to the kitchen to get a drink, and I fingered her best friend. But it's built into the rules, isn't it? You're expected to do a little bit of that, right? No, it's not. Two of those to start the show. Very cheeky stuff from me. Some of you are sitting there like, oh no, I've come to see a bawdy comedian. Relax, I'm not bawdy. I'm not bawdy at all. I'm very boring, actually. I don't cheat at all. Don't cheat at all. Even when I go to the cinema, I don't cheat, right? I know a few cinema cheaters in. The food sneaker-innerers. Yes. I see a few of you. You probably snuck food in here. Fair enough, right? But I know all the tricks, I just don't do them. Like the Maltesers in the pocket, loose. The can up the sleeve, the baguette down the trouser, the hummus in the shoes. I know all the tricks, I just don't do them, all right? The only time I cheat at the cinema is when, okay, a few of you probably do this. I'll go in by myself, right? And I'll order a family ticket. And that means I can buy 4 popcorn combos. They can't judge me. I'm carrying them away and I'll just mutter out loud like, bloody hell, the family's late. Now I go to the fire escape, let the wife in that way. They can't stop me. No, let's get back to the wife, actually. Let's get back to the wife. Very boring phrase to say, isn't it? Let's get back to the wife. It's like I'm about to say, hey, should we put on Coldplay and try out Missionary? Very boring stuff for me. I know I'm boring because an ex told me. Yeah, that is sad, right? It's not the word she used. She said, Stuart, you're very middle of the road. Right? And what I said is, you see, the thing is, driving down the actual middle of the road is one of the most dangerous things you can do. So if you think about that, that's actually pretty edgy. And driving down the edge of the road is actually one of the most middle of the road things you can do. She said, Stuart, this is sort of what I'm talking about. But yeah, let's get back to the wife. The wife, yeah. Me and the wife, we're in this weird phase in our relationship. I don't know if this will land with any of you. We are deeply in love and get on. Yeah, that's annoying, isn't it? That's annoying, right? Because we all know what stand-up comedy is, right? It's people getting up and be like, bloody hell, the wife. And everyone's like, wives. But she's great. That's annoying, right? That's annoying for you, that's annoying for me. It's difficult for me if I'm trying to fit in with the lads, right? Especially, right? If I'm down the pub trying to fit in with the lads, I'm already on the back foot because of the gilet. Okay, some of you are like, oh, thank God he mentioned it. Is he going to mention it? Does he know he's wearing it? I know I'm wearing it. I'm down the pub with the lads. I'm trying to fit in. You know the specific lads I mean when I'm talking about this? The lads who have defined themselves by how much their wives hold them back. Those specific lads. And I'm like, oh, they're telling their stories. I'm like, oh, lads. I got a story for you about a fucking wife. Let me tell you about my fucking wife, lads. She makes me laugh so much. And she communicates with me in a way that makes me feel supported and edified. Lads? And so that's difficult. I appreciate that. That is difficult, right? That's difficult to fit in. And because the truth is, me and the wife, we make each other laugh so much, right? We're always doing pranks together out in public. You know the saying, like couples who prank together piss off everyone around them together. So what we'll do is, if we're in public, we'll split up. Nothing lasts forever. No, not like that. Get your minds out the gutter. And we'll go into somewhere. We'll go into like a cafe, for example, and then. What's happened there? Sorry, cafe. Oh, I get what's happened. See, I've actually been to the continent, so I know how to pronounce it properly. A lot of you, okay, from North London are probably saying stuff like cafe. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing for you. Yeah, so we'll go into a cafe and then we'll end up sitting at a table together and we'll have a conversation just a bit too loud to see who's listening in. Yeah, so we'll say something like, we just need the heat to calm down, then we can dig it back up. Little look around, someone's listening in. Don't worry about him, he's always been dirty. If we get split up, we meet at the following coordinates: 800-8135, 6335-369. Calculator fan up there. Yeah, boobies, geese 69. Now, I've never been to those coordinates, but something tells me I know what I'm going to find when I get there. There's some boobies, but let's not bury the lead. There's a geese having a 69. So I can't believe I've done it this long. We're going to need this turned on. A geese having a 69. Hello, a geese having a 69. I'm going to be talking about a geese. What's a geese most famous for? What's a geese most famous for? No, 1,000-yard stare. 1,000-yard stare. But take a little look lower. What we got there? A nice beak, my friend. Well, yeah, lovely beak, right? Lovely beak, right? I'm gonna need this on, otherwise I will be talking. I'm talking about a geese having a 69, and it will go on for longer the less of you get on board. What's the geese got going on downstairs? Said the ornithologist. Well, the ornithologist. It's got a lovely cloaca. I say cloaca, you say cloaca. Let's not call the whole thing off. We are talking about a geese having a 69. Where's that beak going, you ask me? Straight in the cloaca. What's the worst thing about having a 69? People scream at me in the street every single day. Let me tell you, it's this bloody human neck of mine. Am I right? You're telling me that any of us would be here if these bloody necks were holding us back? We'd all be at home right now, 69ing. You think I'd be here? Call the wife. Tell her I am on the way. What's a geese got? Lovely long neck. They're 69ing till the cows come home. Okay, fine. Let's get back to the wife. The wife, oh, she played a prank on me recently. This is good stuff. She played a prank on me, right? She subtly adjusted all the clocks in our house, right? So by the end of the month, they all ended up 10 centimetres lower. I thought I was getting taller. And for someone who slouches, that left me feeling supported and edified. She is a good wife. She's a good wife. Now, that's a fun start to the show, right? We're 10 minutes in, right? I like doing that routine, fun routine. I'd say the only thing, in my opinion, that could make that routine better is if I actually had a wife. Yeah, because it would be real, right? It would be real, it would be true, and I wouldn't be so lonely. Whereas now we're in a situation where you're just like, what's going on? You just lied to us for 10 minutes. What the hell is going on, Stuart, right? And even worse, did you just make up a female character and not even give her a name? There's a problem with female representation in storytelling as it is. Yeah, you got me. But if I could come back at you, not one of you put your hand up to be like, does she have a name? So we're all guilty, I'll take us all down.
Got dyspraxia, for those of you trying to diagnose me. I can feel it. Oh, is it autism? No, it's fucking not, thank you. Not that there's anything wrong with that, just to be clear. It's just they are making eye contact, they're just far fucking back. Dyspraxia, if you don't know, it's a condition, right? It affects like my spatial awareness, my coordination. It's tough over the pandemic, very hard to social distance when you're dyspraxic. Do you know what I fucking mean, lad? Thanks for coming, man. Thank you very much. It is, man. Like, how did anyone judge 2 meters? How were you doing that? How do you? I just use my knob. No one comes near me when it's out. It's tiny. I went to a specialist school for kids with tiny knobs. It was just me and a load of cherubs. We all had little mini ones. Even the teachers, which did make us feel better, but really they shouldn't have been showing us. No, I went to a specialist school. It was called the University of Salford. No, no, I went to a high school, right? Specialist high school for kids with dyspraxia or dyslexia. It was called a Hume Hall. We got any fellow Hume Hallers in, by any chance? Give me a... No Hume Hallers in, no? Of course not, all outside shouting at pigeons. That's my bread! When I was 11, I had to go for like an interview at Hume Hall, see if I was appropriate. And I was nervous, but I turned up, they took one look at me, they said, "You're fucking perfect, lad." That is exactly what we're fucking after. Getting in now. Keith, come and have a look at this. We found the one. He's fucking perfect. You're not gonna believe it, mate. He looks just like your drawing. Get him on the front of the prospectus. This place is amazing. They give you beer. It was a good school, though. It was a good school. It was. We had our own dance troupe. Yeah, they were called Neurodiversity. They were bad. They were not good dancers. That was just us walking, like we weren't cut out for it, man. I always liked performing, though. As a kid, all I wanted to do was this. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. But you can't do stand-up when you're a kid. I did the next best thing. I was a magician. A dyspraxic magician. Slow of hand. My shows, they were a roller coaster. You'd watch me pull a rabbit out of a hat, you'd be like, wow, he's done it. And then I'd accidentally break the rabbit's neck, and there's only so many you can bury before you begin to blame yourself. It's very, very sad. It's hard to know what job you're going to do when you're dyspraxic. As a kid, I remember that advert. Do you remember that advert? You know, the... You! Could be a Royal Marine! Do you remember that? You remember that? You know that? You! Could be a Royal Marine! You remember that? I remember watching that like, oh, wow, could I now? Oh, yeah. You reckon? I could be a Royal Marine. Fucking this! I was buzzing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, Mummy, I'm going to war! I hope they serve bees. I don't think the Royal Marines want dyspraxics. But you don't hear that in the adverts, do you? If you can drop a phone, you can drop a bomb. I don't think I'm what they're after. I don't think I'm cut out for war. I feel like no matter how hard I tried, I'd end up doing the wrong thing. You know, like, if I was one of the 9/11 hijackers, I'd end up landing the plane. Sorry, lads, I could not do that again if I tried. Fuck. How did I do that? That was pretty impressive, though, wasn't it? Jesus Christ! All the American passengers are clapping. I wish I knew how to clap. I don't know. They worked out to get gay men in the army, though. Remember that? Don't ask, don't tell. We won't ask you if you're gay. You don't tell us if you are. Sorted. That doesn't quite work with the Spraxics, does it? Imagine, I'm there, licking a landmine. Like, Tiernan, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm not allowed to say. But I'd get back if I was you. I'm interested in the army, though. I find it fascinating. I found out about this thing called stolen valor. Stolen valor, it's basically where someone pretends they've served in the army and they haven't really. Like, they'll go around wearing like fake medals or military garments, and then someone who was in the army sees them and they can tell that they're not the real deal. So they start filming them and asking them questions, trying to catch them out. And like, they get so angry in these videos. I always think they're overreacting. At the end of the day, it's just someone wearing your old work uniform. I used to work at KFC. I saw a guy on the train wearing a KFC cap. I didn't go and confront him. You all right, mate? Nice cap. Really nice suit, you. Which branch did you serve at? Name all 11 secret herbs and spices. Name them! You're a fraud! I'm calling the colonel. I didn't fucking... didn't do that. What's your name, little fella? Callum? Are you little, or is that just the energy you give off? How tall are you?
5'10".
You scrawny little bastard. Same height as me. Do you like baked beans?
I don't mind them. Yeah.
You don't mind them? Next time you eat baked beans, you're going to think of me. You are. Outside, banging on the window, give me some beans, Cali boy! Insurance. Nice, man. Last job before comedy, I worked in a primary school. I was a lunchtime supervisor. I'm not making this up. I was a fucking dinner lady. It was heartbreaking. I wanted to be a Royal Marine. And there was a dinner lady. I was 25. 25. That's like 11. In dinner lady years. It was a big step up for me, that job. It was a huge step, because before that job I worked at KFC. Let me tell you now, supervising a child, very different to supervising a chicken burger. It is. You mess a child up, you can't just hide it and eat it on your break. You can't. You can't get away with it anymore. You can't. Ofsted don't like it when you do that. It was weird going for a job interview during the pandemic. The woman interviewing me, she was like, I won't be doing handshakes. So I hugged her, fucking, give me the fucking job. And got the fucking job, mate. I did what it took. Straight in. Her name was Maggie, right? Maggie was the head dinner lady. And she was fucking terrifying. Maggie should have been in the Royal Marines. Nothing would get past this woman. Once we were clearing up the canteen, all the kids are playing outside. They've finished their lunch. Maggie finds a full sandwich hidden underneath one of the tables. What would you have done, Callum? Have you been listening? Hello? You've been thinking about your bit, haven't you? Should have lied about my height. Fuck! Will he really break into my garden? Yes, I fucking will! Full sandwich hidden underneath one of the tables. All the kids are playing outside. What would you have done, Callum?
Eat the sandwich.
Eating it? What the fuck? A child's lunch. You're like the opposite of Marcus Rashford. Maggie starts looking for clues, right? She picks the sandwich up and she sniffs it. That's gluten-free bread. Dylan Lewis, year 6. Bring him in. I'm stood there like, what the fuck is going on? Maggie's about to waterboard an 11-year-old celiac. What is happening? This is crazy.